Hello and welcome, SeriOsity here. We're going to be casting Division A Week 7, Sweden against Canada. Yesterday we had the other matchups of the week casted in Spanish. It was Rude Girl and myself. We casted Bolivia against Russia. Russia won that 4-3 with an ace match. And Europe against Chile, which Chile won. Oh, which Europe won 5-1. Hello, hello. Let me know how the audio is. Voice with respect to the game music and sounds. And we're going to jump right into the first matchup between Kame and Whip. Let's go right into that. Looks like we have in the top right corner Kame representing Team Sweden as the red Zerg. And in the bottom left we'll have Whip representing Team Canada as the white-ish Terran. Who's Whip? I don't think Whip is Bibian. Yeah, he's Korean, but it's Canada. As far as I know, Whip isn't Bibian. There was some suspicion that he was. But even if he was, I don't think it matters. Classic Canada. I mean, if you look at the lineup for Canada, they have, I think it's 5 Korean Americans and Dragon, or Korean Canadians. Now, this match was almost not played between Kame and Whip because they had organized time and Kame didn't show up, but eventually they did decide to play. The map is Eclipse. If we were to end up in an ace match, it would be on Eclipse as well. So far in the standings, Sweden is actually the #1 team. Even though they've lost twice, when they won decisively. And Canada, I think it's in the middle of the rankings. Unfortunately for them, they don't have the same roster as last season. TT1 and Models, they're two of their strongest performing players, decided not to participate. Here we have Whip, no gas, and going for a scout after the barracks. Where's Gypsy? Asked Dragon. No one knows where Gypsy is. He was initially on the roster. I don't think he actually played. Aegyo is playing 1v1 and 2v2, and he's in this week's match, but he had to sub out for the 2v2. Here we have the 12 hatch from Kame and immediately getting scouted by Whip. Let's see if Whip decides to not make any Marines and go immediately for that 15 command center. The spawning pool from Kame, no second gas, or no gas before the other hatchery. Looks like it's gonna be 3 hatch play. The information on the rosters is on the Wikipedia. Monkey is not on the team. Scarlet is, but has not participated. And actually, Kame going for the 3rd hatch at the 3rd base. And there's a 2nd barracks before even a single Marine is produced. Whip not getting any units, just getting that 2nd barracks, non-stop SCV production. Here he scouts the 3rd base on location. We still see 6lings off the bat, and now this SCV is critical. It has to see these 6lings. This was one depot. Yeah, this is curious. No depot at the natural to act as a semi-wall. Now these 6lings are on the way across the map. Whip did see it with his SCV. It's actually only 5 links as 1 is left behind. And let's see, he's going to have 3 Marines by the time these links get here. Bunker is on the way. No depot, 2 wall. This is a little bit risky, but he should just be able to hold this. Critical not to lose any Marines here. Looks like the SCV is not fulfilling their duty. Nice drill there. Instantly blocks off the ramp and loses one Marine. So good hold by Whip. Here we have the lair from Kame. I like Whip's build. Let's see what his follow-up is gonna be here. Looks like 2 racks. No academy. What is going on here? Why does he have an eBay? And he's actually moving around. Now he did this to avoid being scouted by that overlord. And we see Kame setting up for 3 hatch Muta. SCV still alive, sees the number of lings. And he's actually heading straight for that 3rd, and Kame is not going to be prepared for this at all. You can see in production he still only has drones. Didn't leave a ling at the front to scout this kind of move out, and while it won't kill him, it will kill these 2 drones and force him to make a ton of more lings. Is he gonna make a bunker? All super obnoxious. If this bunker is allowed to finish, then this 3rd base won't be mining for a very long time. Marines trying to get behind the mineral line, but they have to protect the SCV. The goal here is to get this bunker up and done. And there we go, the Marines behind the mineral lines. You can see how awkward it will be for Kame to engage. I think the only way to defend this now is with a sunken in range of the bunker. It's like Kame wants to counter attack. That's 5 Marines that aren't back to defend. Here we have Whip starting a partial wall. We have 4 barracks on the way. Academy researching stim. And looks like this hatchery is just gonna go down. I actually didn't think this was in range of the hatchery. It turns out it is. We have a bottle control group of lings outside of Whip's base, but with the bunker up and the wall on its way, should be easy defense. And now Kamezerg is going to have 2 hatches, and he's going to be able to produce mutas, but not much else. So we had something canceled. He didn't like his turret positioning. Already has turrets up, so this is going to be basically 2 hatch muta, but hitting a minute later, and no compensation at all for Kame. Whip is going to have 5 less Marines in his standing army, but this bunker is still going to be very obnoxious and difficult to kill. First 6 mutas are out. We see Kame just getting more mutas now. Really hurting in terms of, oh, looks like a muta actually went down. We're down to 5 mutas already. Whip stimming across the map. You can see how little he can get away with in making turrets if he can keep his bio group out on the map. Different 3rd taken by Kame. And Eclipse gives you the option of taking either of these bases as your 3rd. We have the reinforcing Marine group actually getting cleaned up. About 8 Marines go down, and luckily for him, he still has his bunker, which will make link counters much less effective. They have to get up the ramp. There's only 1 turret protecting these barracks. Whip is forced to retreat here. And we have 9 mutas from Kame. Let's see how decent the muta micro is. He really needs to engage before the Marines get up the ramp. About 2 mutas went down, but that was more than a control group of Marines. 4 Sunkens being made back at home. This was in case Whip decided to counterattack. Zerg really needs a good number of Sunkens to defend from bio. And that's how Kame is starting the comeback. His third is getting set up finally. Looks like this bunker is not going to be dealt with at all. Drone saturation is actually decent considering how much Zerg has suffered early on. See the muta micro. You have 8 mutas, enough to one-shot the SCVs, but tons of turrets here at the net. Much harder to attack the main on this map. And we have Kame trying to find a good angle to engage. He's still making mutas, going up to 11 now. Still no upgrades, and there's a Hydrogen. Now, the timing of this Hydrogen is extremely late considering it's already 9 minutes. Zerg wants to have Hive started here. Finally droning up a little. saturate this third base, trying to get that third gas up. But Kame is going to have a really difficult time trying to hold off this big bio push with just Muta. He needs to buy more time. He's leaving a lane at the front, and this is key. He's going to see the army movement, and here we have the 11 Mutas heading back to kill this bunker finally. But this is a low priority base now. Marines stem out of. And this bunker finally gets dealt with. So that was about one base killed and then 2 drones with just 5 Marines and an SCV. Then we have lurkers finally on the way. Queen's Nest and the Evolution Chamber. Kame has a significant bank in gas, and here is the big bio move out, and it's gonna hit just before lurkers. We have the Hydras in production at the third. I wonder if Whip has scanned that. If he has, then Kame has to buy a lot of time here before Whip can get freely across the map. Needs to force some stims, some Marine micro. Here we have the lurkers morphing on the ramp soon. It's waiting for that research to finish. He needs about 20 more seconds before he can defend that base reliably with lurkers. Oh man, this upgrade is key. Hive is on the way, finally about halfway done, and there's a lurker carapace. He's gonna have 2 lurkers morph to block the ramp, and then another one behind. There's the scan anti-natural. The natural is actually more exposed here because they can't be blocked off so easily. This is about 25 Marines, and they're stimming across the map. Lurker just started. Whip has a timing here. Whip can attack before these lurkers finish. He will be able to bust. There is the stim in. Medic's a little bit lagging behind, but it's only 4 Sunkens. The Mutas are actually behind. Whip is tearing through the Sunkens. The lurkers just finished. They aren't allowed to burrow. The Marine group gets on top of the lurkers, and with that stim, instantly kills them. Marines have +1 with armor already. Mutas coming back, but a little too late. You want the Mutas there to defend with the Sunkens. Not after the Sunkens have died. All the lurkers died before they're able to burrow. Here come the lurkers from the third. Good targeting by Whip. And you can see how powerful Marines are in the mid game. Just tear through everything. All of Zerg's defenses are gone. Looks like eventually it is gonna get cleaned up, but at what cost? Mineral line is wiped out. 6 lurkers went down, 4 Sunkens, all the Mutas, and Kami Zerg with the GG. Alright, sorry, I'm back. And 1 point for Team Canada, and we're gonna go into the next match. And it's gonna be Storm Toss against Red Duck. He got whipped. Alright, continuing with the trend of Team Canada being represented by Koreans, we have Red Duck now against Storm Toss. Alright, in the top right corner, we have Red Duck representing Team Canada as the White Terran. And in the top left, we have the Blue Protoss Storm Toss representing Team Sweden. Now, like Canada, I guess there was a complaint, not in this season, but in the previous season, that Sweden is actually represented by players from several different countries, including Favorite from Germany and Marwin from, I think, the Ukraine. And who else? Was it Whistler from Norway, something like that? But as long as they live in Sweden or have residency there, we aren't gonna deny them the ability to play for their preferred country. Red Duck, I don't think he has lost yet in Nation Wars. Oh, actually, no. He lost last week for the first time against Bolivia, but still a strong showing. Has represented Team Canada every week in the lineup, and we're in week 7 with only 1 loss. Pretty good results so far. We have an early Probe Scout. Not very common to go for Gateway Scout in PvT. Red Duck preparing the Sim City. One thing I noticed on Fighting Spirit just from playing 2v2, when you wall here on this spawn, you make the barracks here with depots like this. And if you send an SCV out with a barracks in this position, the pathing is so bad, the SCV will actually loop like this and then go out. I feel like that's something that would be easy to fix if Mac makers got on top of that. There's your cybernetics core from Storm Toss. He gets the first scout, just sees factory play is going to be incoming. Nothing too revealing quite yet. You really want to scout once the factory is made if they keep 3 SCVs on gas. Oh look, red and blue. I like this more. Let's make Red Duck red. First Marine out here to push away the probe, and if he were really ambitious, he would loop around and see how many SCVs were on gas, but that would usually be at the cost of the probe. And we have a Marine or a Zealot heading out on the map. Red Duck sees this, he's probably going to keep producing Marines. Has to be careful. Really want 3 Marines by the time that Zealot gets there, or 2 Marines with SCVs blocking with the 3rd Marine in production. Here we go. Well, this probe's still lingering around here, a little bit curious, not sent back. Second SCV just for safety. A bit much in my opinion to have 2 SCVs. 1 SCVs can fully block the ramp. And here comes the Zealot with the 2 SCVs blocking there. He's forced to pull back. Now, I think he wants to make that low ground bunker so he can finally expand. He really wants that bunker down before the Dragoon gets there. And you can see the Dragoon is already on the way. Scouting SCV also returns, and the bunker looks like it's just going to be able to complete. Look at this timing. Around 3:45, you want that bunker down. You only have Marines. The tank isn't going to be out, and he's actually going Vulture first. Wants to sneak this Vulture out on the map. With this Vulture now out on the map. Oh, what is he doing? What is he doing? Has to be careful. Can't lose that first Vulture. No add-on quite yet. He's going to have a very delayed tank and very slowed down upgrade. So you want this Vulture out on the map. It doesn't really provide much value, just keeping it back at home. We have Sweet Toss, Sweden Storm Toss with the 30 Nexus after just a couple Dragoons. Very normal build. The Vulture is still here, but it's providing literally no utility. You want this Vulture out on the map, so Protoss is worried about the counterattack and has to keep at least 1 Dragoon back at home. And then eventually, once you get mines, you can plant them behind the Dragoons that are pressuring your bunker. Otherwise, you just want to immediately get that add-on and tank. Barracks landing. Right, somewhat of a block. You can see this bunker really wanted to be 1 more left, so the barracks can land at the same range. One thing to note is that barracks have more HP, so the repair cost is actually less than it is for bunkers. Has to be careful with this tank. 2 Dragoons, not that threatening, but if there was a 3rd, then just 3 volleys from 3 Dragoons would snipe that tank. There are 4 Marines in this bunker, so Protoss has to be careful trying to dive on that tank. The way it works with early game tanks is you can trade 2 Dragoons just fine for a tank, but not 3. Alright, mine's being laid. He doesn't really know if there's a follow-up with a Citadel after this, so I'm surprised he's playing this so cavalier. There's an academy. Vulture heading out on the map. This Vulture really wants to lay a mine at the 3rd base. Some scouting information provided with that, and also slowing down the Protoss's build. 2nd gas for Terran. Academy. Soon we'll see the armory actually getting Vulture speed And there's a starport in the bottom of his main. I missed this. This is key. And there's the DT. And it's going to be DT drop. And this is both players playing very aggressively. And I think this usually favors the Terran because he already has an anti-shuttle method with the starport. You can see they're about to hit roughly at the same time, but 4 vultures do a lot more damage. The DTs have more sustainability because they can't be so easily killed, but the vultures have more speed and they also have mines. And looks like the pathing he's going to take is actually going to be away from the shuttle. And I like this. The direct path, usually Protoss will make a pylon or at least have a spotting unit at 12 o'clock. So going the long way around the map. He's going to catch Storm Toss completely off guard. And here's the shuttle. He's going to have 4 Marines and 2 scans. I think as soon as he sees that shuttle, we'll see a Wraith in production. There are DTs. It's only going to be 2 DTs. Wants to keep them separated because one scan can detect 2 DTs. Here comes the Marines unloading, and there's the Wraith in production. And there's the first scan. Second scan will be ready soon. And he's dropping at the perfect angle. I think the probes just barely spot this. Really want to drop here. No detection from Protoss until the vultures start attacking. Looks like he's going to have mines laid on the ramp. Luckily, Protoss has an observer already out. 2 DTs still alive. It looks like he wants to retreat. The Wraith will kill that shuttle, but he doesn't know. There's dropship play or starport play until now. The vultures harassing his mineral line. So about 6 pros have gone down, but good reaction from Storm Toss. A couple more pros left behind. Now this dropship, I'm surprised it didn't fly into the base. Provide these vultures with an escape path. DT still alive, still attacking. 4 kills on that DT. Looks like going for that debo. A little bit curious. DT goes down. Terran shouldn't have many scans left. Looked like just enough energy for another scan. And there's the Wraith. And the DT and shuttle are going to go down. Looks like Red Duck did kill a significant number of probes. His economy is in a better position. Whoa. There's a DT still alive actually, and the scan, and with no avenue for escape, the DT goes down, and the game should come done now. Let's see. After smoke is cleared, we have 4 gateways on Protoss. The economy is still healthy, but he did suffer a few more losses than the Terran. And let's see how Terran decides to follow this up, if he's gonna go for their command center or a timing attack. If the drop accomplishes enough damage, then Terrans usually follow up with an immediate timing attack. Looks like Protoss is not going to take a third. He's going to go straight into Arbiter Tech. And Terran's tank count is actually very low. Going for drops, you only make vultures for a very long time. Still only 1 add-on. And vultures are on the map. I missed if the dropship went down. If the dropship didn't go down, then Terran has the potential for more drops. Here comes the probe, trying to take the third. Mines laid out. Second armory already for Terran, and the science facility on the way. Oh, suffering. Dragoon lost his 2 mines, extremely painful. Looks like Storm Toss has made non-stop probes, so his economy has recovered. Vultures still being annoying. Not letting Storm Toss take that 3rd base. And it looks like the dropship did go down, so Red Duck is going to have to make another dropship. He is supply blocked here, which can be scary. But with the dropship and the vultures out on the map, and Storm Toss trying to take his 3rd base, he's preoccupied in the meantime. Not going to be able to attack here. Still only 4 tanks. Finally have a 2nd add-on, which is important. It's critical to build up that tank count when you go for early game drops. You are exposed to large Dragoon numbers when you have such a low tank count. Another mine. Looks like that one just barely doesn't detonate. And we have Red Duck prepping himself to take this 3rd base. We have a D tier, which is key. It could also be kept at the ramp, but keeping it here to block the command center from landing as the Dragoons move across the map. Dropship at 12 o'clock. No cannons quite yet, which against drop play, you really want to make those cannons. You want to invest in that static defense. Barracks landing, but this isn't a complete wall yet. It looks like the DT still there, attacking a tank finally, and Red Duck is going to be caught off guard here. This is a good number of Dragoons are moving into the tanks. He's still not attacking, and finally there, 4 tanks go down, and now we only have 4 tanks left. Red Duck's tank count has been suspiciously, well, not suspiciously, has been low all game long, and now he's not gonna be able to take his third base. In the meantime, he did get this drop off, and more economic damage done. Just attacking for now, not laying the mines. Here come 2 Dragoons, no observer here. Looks like both players occupied. Finally have 1 tank here in siege mode. It's only 4 Dragoons left. Looks like the drop is finally dealt with, but you can see, well actually no, Vulture's still alive. You can see that was about 11 probe losses for Stormtoss. He doesn't have the third base already up, but with Terran taking their third base as well, Protoss isn't in the best position. Looks like the barracks did go down. We only have 6 factories here. It's going to be a while before we can add additional factories. Terran's 2-1. Actually hasn't been started. During all that action, Terran forgot to start +2 weapons. We have +1 plating on the way, but the key upgrade is the weapons. More mines being laid, and here's another dropship with 2 tanks this time. This is interesting. Very risky to drop tanks like this. Third still not walled off. Looks like the command center slightly out of position, and now we have 2 tanks. I think they're gonna head to this third base, but without Vulture support, it's just 2 tanks, not very threatening, and it has left him exposed here to a frontal attack. Only 2 tanks left back at home. We have some at the third. He needs to support this 2 tank drop with some kind of Vulture play. Vultures are very fast, can get out on the map quickly, and are able to provide support. But with this semi-contain of the Dragoons, Red Duck hasn't been able to send any Vultures out. Here we have a probe heading to take a 4th base. There's only 1 Dragoon here, and some more Dragoons at his rally. Protoss has +1 upgrade, and here come the tanks. What you really want to do here, in an ideal scenario, oh, looks like the tank is gonna go down the cannon. Always hurts to see that. Is lay Vulture mines here so reinforcing units can't come. Looks like he's just barely gonna able to get in with some Vultures, and he is gonna be able to kill some more probes. The 2 tanks go down. The dropship is still alive, being hunted by that Arbiter, but all the probes at the third have gone down. And with Red Duck establishing his own third base, getting weapons 2, another science vessel in production. Dropship picks up the Vultures, and they're gonna head to harass this new 4th base. We have a significant APM difference, and I think this is the matchup where APM really hurts Protoss the most. Lack of APM, I should say. Still only 6 factory. Finally, the barracks has been remade. Another vessel in production, and getting EMP. Protoss is really just trying to stabilize. Finally have Dragoons being left at the third base as well. 8 gateways for Protoss. Stargate has made its 2nd Arbiter. They're both gathering energy here, and Protoss really is just waiting for the Terran to move out and wants to have as much time as possible before that happens. DT scouting around the map. Protoss does have +1, +2, almost complete. Looks like Arbiter energy being researched, and we have Zealot speed as well. Only Dragoons for the meantime. Looks like these vessels are exposed. Zealot speed done. We have Protoss getting ready to flank this Terran army. It's gonna come down to the stasis. How good are the stasis? Where's the Arbiter? Looks like this Arbiter only has 88 energy. 2nd Arbiter has a stasis just ready. Looks like an EMP gonna go off for Red Duck and nails that 2nd Arbiter. 1st Arbiter still hidden in the back. Can get off a good stasis. Terran adding a couple more factories. And there's the second EMP going off on the first Arbiter. This Arbiter almost had 200 energy, and now it's just gateway units against a Terran that's about to have, no, already has 2-1 upgrades. Terran is pushing out across the map. A little bit of a late siege, getting caught off guard, and Protoss coming in from 2 different angles. The back line is a little bit late. No Zealots in the back line, only Dragoons. Most of the Zealots have gone down. Now it's only Dragoons against tanks. Some Vultures to provide support. Most of the Dragoons have gone down, and it's like just not enough for Storm Toss. You can see how different that fight would have looked even with 1 stasis. And now we see the lack of Protoss gateway is hurting him. He's not being able to spend all his resources, and Terran is going to establish this very good position outside of his net. No gateways on the other side of the map for Protoss, so a contain would be very effective here. Matrix on one of the front tanks, gonna give it some more survivability. You can see all of Protoss' units go down and basically take out 1 tank and 2 Vultures. Protoss does invest quite a lot of resources to get Arbiters up with their researches, with their upgrades research, and to not see a single spell being utilized. You can see Protoss really doesn't stand the chance when it's just ground units, especially with the upgrade advantage Terran has. Terran really benefits more from their upgrades than Protoss, and just 8 gateways. The dropship plate hurt him a lot early on. This is the early game Wraith that was used to defend from the DT drop. Now we have the Nat being shelled by these siege tanks. Higher level Terrans always had the ability to do this as well, and then peel off a couple tanks to siege down this Nexus and possibly even this one. We only have 1 tank here, 1 cannon here after all, so Vultures can just kill it themselves. We have a stasis on 1-1 race, so the Arbiter doesn't go down. And after killing the Nat, we see Red Duck just heading elsewhere on the map. No 4th base from him at all. And we can see this DT has been doing its job, denying the most likely next base from Protoss. Protoss trying to play a refugee style, but you really want to have more bases than this established before Terran moves out to even attempt this kind of play. Looks like his one vulnerability is he doesn't have any anti-recall defense, but because Storm Toss's Arbiters have been kept at such low energy and his army has been so small, Red Duck doesn't fear that at all. We have the final attempt here from Storm Toss, and there's a GG, and with that, another point for Team Canada. 2-0, and let's head into the next match. Hello Pebble, welcome. We're gonna go into the next match, and it's gonna be Oya against Aegyo. And if I'm correct, Aegyo did play. Alright, in the top spawn on Sofa, we have Drone Dance, aka Aegyo, as the Red Zerg, representing Team Canada. And in the bottom left, we have the Green Protoss, IRK's Oya, representing Team Sweden. Should be a good matchup. Sylphid, very good map. for ZVP and PvZ as well. Both players have the options of distinct third bases, or you could take that mineral only. You could take 7 o'clock as his third. Green base not as likely just because it's a crappier base. You have Aegyo already mineral boosting one of the drones. And Oya setting up to take his natural. Now probe heads back. And what is this wall? This is very interesting. Normally you just make the pylon here and then go up from there. With the probe already heading back, this is going to be a gateway expand, but he's going to go for 10 gate, not 9. I don't understand this at all. I just feel like he's going to have an inferior wall with this strategy. But with a second probe heading out, okay, so this is the idea. It's going to be a 2 gate. No, just a second pylon made after natural. I really don't understand. But let's see. Aegyo going for that overpull. He's going to scout Oya first. Going to see it's a gateway expand. Not surprising. Oya plays aggressively in all matchups. Here comes a probe. Scouting. Wants to slow down this natural. Every few seconds that Zerg doesn't have this hatchery up, really hurts him in terms of his larva production. 2 drones off the mineral line trying to deal with this probe. He really could just take the mineral only. It doesn't hurt him that much. I highly doubt Oya doesn't know this map. This is probably the most played map alongside Sylphid and Circuit Breaker and Fighting Spirit. But the fact that he's made it like this, I don't know. Maybe he made the pilot. I don't know. I don't want to comment. And we have the natural. Now it's extremely delayed. This is about 45 seconds that Aegyo isn't going to have a second hatchery. This is catastrophic damage. Now the pylon was cancelled, I'm pretty sure. And then look at Aegyo. He's taking his second and third hatcheries basically at the same time. So Aegyo's going to be on 1 hatchery production for a very long time. Almost a minute delayed on the second hatchery. You want the second hatchery with overpull at around 2 minutes. Now, 12 o'clock on Sylphid has very efficient mineral mining. On some maps, some older maps like Fighting Spirit, your natural hatchery would go down roughly at like 205. But this spawn, you can get it just before 2 minutes. And all you basically have to do is put drones at the optimal mining optimal mineral patches. There's another probe. Now this is key. Oya sees the 4th hatchery already made. This isn't the timing for a 3rd hatch, so Oya knows he's up against 4 hatch play. Means no lair and possibly even no gas mining. Hola Humberto. Bienvenidos. Now this isn't a wall here, and it's gonna need 3 Zots on top as well. So very curious from Oya. You can see it's a 4 gap wall. Now he can make a pylon here, but it would still be a 4 gap wall. There's a cybernetics core on the way. Don't have +1 ground started, so I don't think it's gonna be Citadel play. And here's finally Oya's move up. 3 Zala to 4th one on the way. And let's see what he does behind us. Looks like we have a Stargate at the natural being hidden away from this Overlord. Aegyo still with no gas mining. There's the 5th hatchery. So prioritizing getting as much mineral income as he can. One of the trade-offs is that you don't get link speed, and link speed allows you to much more easily defend from Zealot attacks, and it also gives you opportunity for counterattacks. Moving out on the map against Zerg with link speed is not wise for Protoss, and Protoss can feel pretty comfortable with these Zealots out on the map. Something was shot here. Overlord from Egyo. Okay, there. Scouts that Stargate, which is important, and now he can predict or reliably defend from what's incoming. Looks like the Hydrogen still hasn't been started. Second gas on the way. What is Egyo's plan here to defend from these Corsairs? Now I think it was Cadenzi who said, as long as you start the Hydrogen when you see the Stargate being made, you will have enough time to defend from the Corsairs. So even though this looks like a very late Hydrogen, he will likely only suffer 2 Overlord losses, the scouting one, maybe one at his base. And that's just because this Hydrogen is a few seconds late. Hydra speed immediately started. How many Hydras in production? Really wants to get those Hydras out. Oh yeah, getting that full scout on. Still only making drones. He has preemptively made Overlords, predicting these Overlord losses. And we have Oya with speed on the way and already in Archives. This is going to be a fast CT. He didn't lose any of the early game Zealots. Egyo's economy is booming here because he skipped all gas mining for a very long time just to get all his hatcheries up with a good drone count. 36 drones for Zerg before 7 minutes is very strong. And here is the likely second Overlord loss. No, that's going to be this one if Oya is out on the map. Only 1 Corsair was made and second Forge already started. Now Egyo isn't going to have vision of this second Forge at all. If he could somehow confirm that, then he would know Oya's attack is going to be diminished. You have the first DT heading out on the map. Gonna one-shot these Lings, and Egyo doesn't get an alert for this. Lings going down. Finally realizes and retreats. Layer is about halfway down. Looks like we have a forgotten drone here. And let's look at the evolution chamber upgrading +1 for the Hydras. No 6 hatch quite yet. We did get another drone cycle in. Looks like, well, only 2 drones. Gonna be hard to take a 4th base without Overlord speed. There's the DT heading directly for that 4th base. Oya going up in gateways, but you see these gateways are delayed because he got a second Forge and he's upgrading from both. And there's a Zealot speed move out. Only 7-8 Zealots with that 1 DT, but it does force Egyo to make Hydras. DT killed now. Egyo should be feeling much more comfortable to take that 4th base. He has a significant Hydra group, and it's easily going to deflect this Zealot attack. High Templars back at home. We have only 3 High Templars, so it's still a little bit risky here for Oya. If Oya gets attacked by a lot of Hydras with only 3 High Templars, it's not going to be enough. Only 3 Storms. Let's see how good the control is from Egyo, but looks like he's taking this opportunity to drone up, and this is also a good play. You don't really know what Protoss has at this moment. Droning up after holding the initial attack is a wise decision. We have the first Storm, very good Storm, very good second Storm as well. Third Storm, a bit of a whiff. Now these High Templars don't have any Storm, and it's only 3 cannons. The wall is exposed a little bit. Sorry there. It's like Egyo wants to go for the kill. Hydra's being made back at home, and there's a drone ready to take that 4th base with that 7th hatchery. If Egyo had just slightly faster reinforcements, he'd be able to get here before these additional 2 Storms were ready. But still a small victory for him, killing off the second Forge, or actually the first Forge, and maybe even the gateway, forcing out some Storms. He hasn't drawn up sufficiently, I would say, for the position he's in. Really wants to keep the pressure on. Protoss only has 1 more Storm here, but the gateways have already been established. And looks like Zerg could retreat here and just keep droning up. Spire on the way. Zerg is only on 2 gas this whole time. This 4th base is going to be its 3rd gas for Zerg, and looks like only 1 High Templar left. Protoss should be careful. Already switching into Dragoons, and now this could be dangerous. It's only going to be 1 High Templar with Storm. I guess in about 30 seconds he will have another Storm on this High Templar and another one on this. Looks like he's going to take the crappy third base. I say crappy because you can see it's only 6 patches, the gas is reduced, and so are the minerals. This is a very scary moment for Oya to take up third base and transition into Dragoon so early with so few High Templars. Agio is going to have a ton of Hydra production. He hasn't droned up though. He's still a little bit low on that economy. You want, he's making a creep here. You want to have your 4 bases saturated. He only has 3 currently, and while they do have good saturation, he needs roughly 12 more drones here to just be fully powered up. Attacking in this position without getting that drone round in can be extremely risky. As here we have a whiff of a storm, and there's the opportunity for Agio to attack. Protoss is only going to have 1 storm. Protoss does have good upgrades. There's the final storm, and Protoss has 1-1 versus just 1-0 of the Hydras. So we don't have any storms left, and as soon as these Zealots go down, you'll see how quickly the Dragoons will melt. Hydras and Lynx coming in from the back, and looks like this is Agio's moment here. Last storm there goes off. It's a good storm. These High Templars should be morphed into an Archon. Looks like the reinforcing Zealots will just be able to provide enough defense for Agio. All in all, I would say this is a victory for Zerg, trading off the Protoss army and wasting all of its storms. But you can see he finally managed to drone up a little bit. Still not enough drones. The start isn't saturated. You can see drones are coming. Again, this third base from Protoss isn't the strongest. Protoss is going to get a nice boost from it, but it's not a full third base like Agio's 4th base is. Looks like Oya just wants to expand again. +2 weapons about to be finished for the Protoss army. +2 done for Zerg. Zerg also getting carrot base. Could start melee as well. There's the Queen's Nest. Looks like Agio is setting up some lurkers. Now on Sylphid, it's hard to defend your 4 bases with a lurker field, and going Hive so fast will make your standing army quite a bit weaker. You're gonna have to start mixing in more Lings, and now while Lings are good, they aren't very strong without upgrades and without crack. It's like these Lings are gonna be able to cancel his 4th Nexus, which is huge. Oya really wants to get that up. This third base will mine out roughly at the same time as the main and natural. Some countering Lings trying to get High Templars. Looks like 1 High Templar rolls down. They do have +1 armor. 4th Nexus cancelled, and Agio effectively buying time with these Zerglings. Wants to build up his lurker field. Only has 2 lurkers right now. Getting some creeps up at his exposed outlying 4th base. And we see Protoss with the very strong 2-2 upgrades. These Lings are going to be extremely weak against these Zealots and Dragoons. There's a reason why on this map Zerg will keep making Hydras and Lurkers, transitioning into Lings with Hive, exposes Zerg to these big attacks in the mid game. And here comes Protoss attacking. Lurker field not established quite yet. Moving in with the Zealots first, not wise. Oya pulls back. 4th base finally established. Probes even at the ramp blocking. It's only 4 cannons though, and with 2 control groups of Lynx, he should be able to clean that up. You're taking a 5th base even. The Dragoon count is actually surprisingly low. Looks like Agio wants to flank this with these Lings. Lurkers have gone down, only a handful of lurkers left. Looks like Agio was trying to defend his 5th base as well, and he's spreading himself out a little bit too thin. Here come the flanking Lings, getting on top of the Dragoons. Nice storm from Agio, protecting those Dragoons. Only 1 lurker left. We have 5 lurkers at this new base, but they're slightly out of position. Agio has a ton of units not being utilized in this army. Let's look at the storm number. Looks like Oya wisely retreating, and he's gonna have the opportunity to attack this new base before it gets set up with lurkers and sunkens. New base also doesn't have a Nidus network linking it to the rally, but with 4 sunkens and 3 lurkers and some hydras, I doubt he'll be able to break this. Sunken drawing the attention of the Protoss army, but Oya's on top of it, immediately retreats. Looks like he's trying to find a better angle. Looks like no lurkers here. He will get flanked instantly, but with 4 High Templars, 5 High Templars, he'll have a much more favorable engagement here. Nice storm there on the hydras and morphine lurkers, and Agio is in big trouble here. This position from Protoss is gonna have to come across this small bridge. Storm on the middle line. He's on top of 4 hatcheries of production and the evolution chambers. Agio can't lose this position. He has to force. He's being forced into an engagement. It's not a favorable one. You can see the lings that come out of the hatcheries instantly die. The flanking lurkers trying to burrow, but not getting a ton of shots off. Engaging all these dragoons. Archons being made, and these Archons provide a ton of beef to the Protoss army. 32 kills on this Archon now. That was mostly Storm, and then some Link kills after, but still extremely strong. And now we have Oya attacking a different location. No Observer to detect these lurkers. But the standing Protoss ball is still alive. Now we have 3 Archons to support these Dragoons, and Agio with the GG. Damn. Let's look at the upgrades. Protoss 2-2 against Zerg with just 1 on each. And it's hard to defend these 5 bases. I don't think Zerg should ever take this one really. Should take the other main. And should stay on lair a little bit longer. For example, if you defend like this. This base is hard to attack for Protoss, but well played by Oya. GG. And we're gonna go into 2v2 on Iron Curtain. Now we had a substitution. Agio did not participate, but because he picked Protoss, or I mean because he picked Zerg, the substituting player was forced into playing Zerg, and that substituting player was Dragon. And we have Dragon and Crossy spawning on the same side, both Zergs. Again, Dragon. Which one's Dragon? Okay, looks like this one's Dragon. Dragon gonna be forced to play Zerg. And we have Agio not playing. We have Favorite and Marwen on the other side of the map. And I think this is actually disastrous for Team Zerg. I'm not really sure. I mean, this map hasn't been played enough, but I think ZZ against PT on this map is terrible for the Zerg team. Zerg has to end the game quickly, and because they can't get across the ground or with ground units, it's extremely hard for them to do anything. I doubt Zerg will go into 1 hatch Muta. Looks like they're gonna go overgas, which fair enough is pretty good. They could also go 12 pool, and I think that's probably the best play, going 12 pool gas expansion while the other player goes 12 hatch into drop with hydras, some kind of play like that. We have Protoss immediately going for gas. This is fast Corsair build, but I'm not really sure this favors. Now if Zerg spawn at the on the same sides, then that's a different story. Then Zergs can influence 2 sides of the map much faster. One Zerg can go fast Muta while keeping the Terran. I mean, Zerg can always go expansion on this map against Terran and Protoss, so they go expansion, defend, tech up, and influence the other side of the map. When I think how it stands, looks like we have Crossy going for that over gas, and no expansion from Dragon, so I don't know. I think the best play is just to go for 12 hatch if your opponent or your ally is teching up rapidly. No, it shouldn't be a 13cc. We see the barracks being made. Yeah, prob. Look at the barracks in full vision. A favorite's gonna have extremely fast Corsairs. Dragon's Overlord fighting. Actually, I can switch the colors. These colors aren't that bad. Dragon's Overlord finally arriving in favorite space. Gonna see gas is already established. Lair is on the way for both players. Dragon is gonna be able to afford a fast second base, but this hatchery could already be up. There's no point in both players rushing for mutas. The Terran Protoss team is gonna combat muta play immediately. Double factory for Marwan. And there's a +1. Definitely gonna need to hide overlords. If I were in the Zerg position on this team, I would have one player go for 12 pool lair and the other player go for 3 hatch hydra with drop. There's a spire for both players going down. Reason being is because Goliaths are going to be made. Hydras are good against Goliaths, and Protoss is going to go Corsairs. Double Stargate even. That's a big investment into Corsairs. First Corsair in production. And there's the armory for Marwan. Now Marwan is keeping this barracks here close by the mineral lines to jump vultures over. Getting speed in that mines because it'll make them more effective at hunting units down and evading the mutas. And this is going to be a key timing. We have the first 2 vultures. Looks like 2 more on the way. Well, just 1 more. Vultures being hidden. Don't want to reveal the tactic until speed is about to be done. Barracks hasn't even been lifted. And because Zerg is hiding overlords at this moment, you can see they're not going to be ready for this kind of play at all. One of Dragon's Overlords instantly gonna go down, and here comes 3rd and 4th Corsairs for Team Sweden. It looks like it is gonna be 4 vultures, and there's the barracks being floated off, and it's actually gonna be 5 vultures. It's gonna be significant damage gonna be dealt. Mutas can kill off the vultures, but they're going to be very slow. Zergs aren't prepared for this at all. Not making sunkens, not expecting this kind of play from Marwan. Crossy's predicting the build wrong. Here come the vultures with speed. Mutas at his natural, and this is going to be so hard to deal with. Team Sweden, nice build from Team Sweden. And so the vultures leave Crossy with only 9 drones. Dragon hasn't suffered any drone losses, but he did suffer overlord losses. And here's the transition into Goliath. So turret already being made. Another vulture gets jumped through, and this time it's gonna head to Dragon's base, while one is in Crossy's base and hitting his economy. How many Corsairs are we up to? Up to 6 Corsairs now. Once this gets close to a control group of Corsairs, there's basically nothing Zerg can do to contest the air. And with both Zergs going mutas, they're going to be completely nullified. Really have to flank the Corsairs effectively with Scourge to get anything done. We have the same number of mutas as Corsairs, and here we go. There's the engagement. Dragon's mutas with some Corsairs to support, but the Scourge aren't controlled properly in that split. 2 of the Corsairs go down, but all these mutas are bruised up and have to run away. Now Crossy can provide support with his own Scourge, and Favorite's gonna have to be careful, but he could just run away here. Dragon needs to patrol micro to shoot these Corsairs, can't let them escape freely. And you have Marwing preparing his transition into Goliaths. Now he could still jump over the Goliaths, but more effective and more reliable to use that dropship, but we still don't see a starport at all. Now both Zergs have expansion, but low economies due to the Vulture harass. Again, if one of the Zergs had gone for Hydras, this would be looking a lot differently. They would have a fully established economy. And here comes Marwin. He's preparing the barracks again. Not getting starport at all. Still no third factory. Can really afford at least 3 factories off one base. Barracks is the MVP of the game currently. Where are the Corsairs from? Favorite. There we go. 9 Corsairs plus 1 already complete. Four Goliaths getting pushed across. And here are the Corsairs again. Zergs want to engage at the same time from 2 different angles. Crossy doesn't have +1. Looks like Dragons is complete. Here, half the Goliaths already on the other side of the map providing support. And Corsair Goliath against what Protoss has. Looks like Dragon wants to counterattack, but it's mostly Scourge. And with already 3 cannons, I don't think it's going to be enough. Protoss is retreating. It's 10 Goliaths. Sunkens aren't going to be done for Crossy. And Corsairs retreat, come back. Even though some of the Scourge detonate, still 8 Corsairs left. And GG Team Canada, I think. You have the Goliaths attacking Crossy. GG. Very swift victory for Team Sweden. And that's the first point on Sweden's side, so it's 2-1 in favor of Canada. And let's go into the next set. It's going to be Body against Dragon. First PvT of the day. And the map is going to be Optimizer. And I think this is a very strong map for Terran. Alright, in the bottom or top left side of the map, we have IRK Body representing Team Sweden. And in the bottom left, we have Team Canada Captain, Dragon, as the brown Protoss. Oh, I didn't see your comment. Hello, Snakido. Hello, hello. Dragon spawning in this bottom side vertically from Body on this map. Because the paths can be opened up, it does give Terran another attacking avenue away from the middle of the map. It can be a little bit scary for Protoss, but they do have to go up a ramp, and it's very choked up. It's like Body wants to get that wall in. And it's curious, you have all these new maps. Body, what are you doing? Okay. You have all these new maps that let you know where to make the wall. You can see it tells you make a depot here. And these little patches of snow let you know make barracks there. I don't think this is a bad idea, to be honest. Last thing you want to do when you're learning a new map is stress out where to place your buildings. Now another thing would be to lay out where to make pylons and gateways for optimal usage. Now Body makes it 1 left of the recommended because this would be a link tight wall, but this wall is still zealot tight. Body jumping that SCV out, and there we have him taking the top gas. Dragon also taking the top gas. Never want to take the bottom gas on Optimizer. Only 1000. Or I should say, never want to take it first. Vertical scout from Body. I doubt Dragon will scout with probe. Dragon, from what I've seen him in his PvTs, he will either not scout with a probe at all, or he'll zealot scout. Or I should say, not scout with a probe and wait till Dragoon, or go for core zealot and get that zealot scout. Fast SCV arriving in his base will let Dragon know that it's an adjacent spawn from Protoss, so if he was planning to do something based on that, he would already this would already confirm. It looks like Body, what is he up to? Cutting SCVs here, making a Marine, and this is a little bit curious. One of the reasons you wall off is so that you're safe against early Zealot pressure. And because he already saw Dragon, I'm not really sure. It looks like he wants to get that bunker up. And now just one Marine with the bunker, not going to be enough to stop a Zealot run by, but Protoss already, or Terran already has that wall. Second Marine in production, so with one Marine in the bunker and one behind the wall, even if the Zealot runs by, it won't be able to accomplish much at all. Dragon smartly ignoring the bunker. Now he's going to see the wall. He's going to be a little bit sad, but at least he confirms it's not Rax expand from Terran. Zealot should leave before he gets any more damage done. And we have a second SCV out on the map. Very important for Terran to do this. First SCV being chased by the Dragoon means that he's not going to have any more scouting information unless he does this. He wants to confirm that Nexus time from Dragon. Looks like we have a 25 Nexus. And there's a pylon. This is going to be a significant supply block for Dragon, but he is getting this faster Nexus, not making any more units. I wonder if it's worth it to get those 2 extra probes before this pylon is complete by throwing away the Zealot. The Zealot won't provide much help at all. So he wants to run by, he sees the barracks landed, knows it's no longer blocking, and here we have Dragon with the attack. Only 2 Marines, first tank about halfway done. Now the SCVs are exposed, 1 Marine goes down, so very good so far by Dragon. He has to be careful, SCVs are very strong against Dragoons. Nice drill from Body. 2 Marines have gone down in SCV as well, and this command center has been delayed significantly. First tank pops out, but only 2 Dragoons won't be that much of a threat. Looks like Dragon just micro around the SCVs, gets another SCV, gets another SCV. But the key here is the delay on this command center. So those 2 Dragoons and a Zealot for 2 Marines and 4 SCVs, and a significantly delayed command center. Looks like the SCV from Body did get into Dragon space and scout everything. Saw the observatory. Don't know if he exactly got an eye on the gateway count, but should suspect 1 at least, maybe a 2nd or 3rd already done. Body canceling that eBay after getting that scouting information. Going 2 gateways following up that attack, I would say is a little bit risky. He didn't kill any tanks. He did kill all the Marines and saw no Marines were in production. But trading off 2 Dragoons and a Zealot, and then not following up with 3 gates, can be scary for Protoss. Terran can attack at any time. Of course, we did see that Body only has the 1 factory, but Dragon doesn't know that. And this is why he's only on 2 gateways. He's actually following up with Reaver. So he went Shuttle, Observatory, and now he's going to get Reavers. You have Body opening up the path that'll allow him access into Dragon's base. Now this is also a nice economic boost for both players. It gives you 10 patches at the natural. We have Body mining it out, and Dragon finally starts to do it as well. Both players want to open this up to allow access in case an attack, well, especially Dragon wants to open this up in case an attack comes from Body. Wants to have access to his units without a shuttle. And no Reaver speed quite yet. Not going to be that much of an investment into Reavers, it seems. Only just a 1, another Observer, and 2 Zealots to provide some more utility to the Reaver. Basically, a Reaver is effective on its own. This guy do a ton of damage, giving it a shuttle boost its effectiveness by a significant degree, and then adding a Zealot as well into the shuttle will make it so that the tanks will prioritize the shooting, and because there's a cooldown for tanks, it'll take them a while to retarget the Reaver and shoot again. So If you really want to maximize your Reaver, you get that shuttle. You can also get Zealot speed, or I should say shuttle speed. Here we have Zealot eating the tank fire, then the Reaver unloading. And we have 2 tanks go down. Goliaths just arrive in time. Oh, Dragon's coming back in. This is extremely risky. The shuttle will be targeted, and the Reaver does have no defense down. Immediately goes down, and he gets 2 tanks, some SCVs, and a Goliath. But I don't think he should have gone back in. He really can unload or find a different angle to attack from. Risky play there from Dragon. Oh, I should fix the scoreboard. It's actually 2-2, Oya 1, and so did the Swedish 2v2 team. Again, if it's an ace that we end up with, it's going to be on Eclipse. He has to be careful. With only 3 tanks, he only has the 1 add-on. Looks like this is going to be 2 base, 2-1 from our Swedish Terran. And Dragon's gonna get that full scout off. Let's see how he responds to this. Already has his 3rd base up, mining and fully saturated. Looks like he wants to pile and wall it on both sides. These ledges that you can't see right now can actually be dropped. And it looks like the bottom path is about to be completely mined out for both players. You have a scan here from Body to see what Dragon has at his natural. We have the drop ship out, but no units to load it with. Very low tank counts, no vultures. Actually, I haven't seen a single vulture made in this game. Should also mention there's another base between the 2 players, and if anyone's going to take it, it's going to be Terran. Terran can actually take this and never move out into the middle of the map, and this can actually be extremely obnoxious for Dragon. Dragon's going to have to contest with a Terran attack from this angle, and also a Terran that can just freely take this base, and there's no way to punish it really. Dragon's going up in bases or gateways. First Arbiter in production. And here's Vadi gonna set up trying to take this base. Only 2 tanks here, so not quite enough tanks here, and he's sieging them way too close to the Dragoons. So another 2 tanks go down, and that is the only weakness in Vadi's position right now. It's the tank count. He only has the 4 tanks. He already lost 2 against the Reaver and just loses 2 more right there. With this dropship not providing much value at all. I'm not really sure where he could drop Dragon. Dragon will be defended from this angle. Looks like this 3rd base, but if he could get a tank here. Jag does have another shuttle with 4 Zealots. This will allow him to bust Terran positions more easily. No 4th Nexus quite yet. Even with 2 annons, the tank count has been kept quite low. I mean, we actually have just tanks and Goliath being made, and it's gonna eat into his gas count. Luckily on this map, Terran does have 3 gases on 2 base. It's like Dragon not even taking his own gas. These gases in the middle of the map are also reduced only at 3,000. Only the main and natural gas are full gas bases. It's like Body really just walling off as much as possible, keeping his NAT completely walled off as he commits a significant number of units to establish his new base. And Dragon's preparing for a big frontal assault, but Body is prepared for this. Bunker is empty, but it still provides some value walling off. Could even have some tanks here on the low ground. Again, this is very awkward for Protoss to attack into. Look at the padding the units would take. Tanks from this position could siege all the way up to here. Dragon unsure what to do with his army. Terran upgrades keep coming. Terran's already at 2-1. Dragon does have 4 bases established, and we have Body just now taking his third, being forced to pull away as there's a shuttle. It's like Dragon wants to commit here, and because there's no vultures and no mines, the Zealots are actually going to be extremely effective. Normally I would say it's very unwise to attack like this, but with only tanks and in such low numbers, Dragon does have an opportunity here. He can also drop the Zealots directly on the tank so they can start shooting themselves. We have a stasis on the back line, and this is perfect from Dragon. Now these tanks will be much more easily dealt with. We have the shuttle coming in. There's actually not any units here left for Body. Body gonna be forced to pull back. The majority of his tanks and army coming down. We finally see some vultures. Zealots being dropped on the tanks. Nice play from Dragon. These 4 tanks on the low ground are also going to be cut off. Tanks on this high ground are going to be better positioned here. And it looks like Dragon's units are actually bugging out. The Dragoon's not moving forward, getting stuck on themselves. And what I thought was actually going to be a decisive win from Dragon is actually looking more like a trade. But even then, that still favors him. He's still on 4 bases against the Protoss or the Terrans 2. Tanks from the stasis, unfreeze, and looks like that attack is done. But in the meantime, Drag with 4 bases, taking a 5th in the bottom right. And adding even more gateways, more Stargates, getting upgrades out 2-4. Just Terran is on 2-1, but has stopped getting further upgrades. Gas already depleted in his main. Dragon not even taking this, just taking gases out on the map. Protoss doesn't really need that much gas to make Zealot Dragoons and Arbiters. Once they transition into High Templars, then another gas will be needed. Here we have one of the key features on this map. Terran can attack from this angle, never has to move out into the middle of the map. And this is going to be an awkward engagement also for Dragon, but Terran will be on the low ground. That's one of the key differences here. We have Stasis again on the back tank, gets 3 tanks and his own observer. One way to combat Terran attacking from this angle is with High Templars. If you position the High Templars here, a Terran that's trying to move into attack will get clumped up and stormed to death. And while Vadi can hold this position, it's going to be much harder for him to take a 4th base out in the middle of the map. Looks like we had that earlier dropship that was made but never utilized, and now I think Body's position is going to be looking worse and worse. We finally have 3-2 started, but Dragon is catching up on upgrades. We already have weapons 2, plus 1 armor on the way, and we have even more arbors being made off 2 Stargates. Again, it's awkward for Terrans to attack, but if Protoss also gets stormed, it'll become harder and harder for Terran to attack. I mean, I should have said it's hard for Protoss to attack. All this is very choked up. We actually haven't seen a single Terran unit in the middle of the map. Body's just been stuck on this left side attacking vertically like this. Very cute 2 Dragoon drop just to harass the SCVs some more. And you can see, even though this was actually a faster base from Body, he hasn't mined very much at all from those mineral patches. Now what is Protoss going to do? Looks like Protoss is just going to go for that counter set. Alright, you're going to attack through there, our units going to be there. My natural's almost mined out. I don't care if you kill that base, I'm just going to go for the counter attack. It'll take a while to kill off these depots, but we see no tanks here. 3 tanks come out of these factories. Looks like Body wants to repair. Give himself as much time here. His counterattack. Most of his units are here, and looks like Dragon Zealots are coming out of the gateways now. He does have detection, but it's only tanks right now. Mostly tanks against Zealots. Not going to look good for Terran. Dragon finally breaking through that front wall. We have 3 tanks in the back, but this is a ton of Zealots. Tons of units coming out from Drag. Looks like his position at his natural is going to be forfeited, but he is breaking into Body space. And there's the GG from Body, and Dragon wins the set for Team Canada, putting Canada 1 point away from winning the week. We're going to have at least one match left. It's going to be Favorite against Crossy. If Favorite wins, we will get an ace match. If Crossy wins, Canada wins 4-2. And the map is going to be on Polypoid. And let's go, let's go, let's go. Alright, in the bottom left we have Crossy as the red Zerg representing Team Canada. And in the top left, we're going to have IRK Favorite representing Team Sweden as the Teal Protoss. Let's go, let's go. It's 3-2 currently for Team Canada. And let's see what we end up with. We have Crossy scouting with the Overlord. On this map, you basically scout as Zerg in a counterclockwise fashion. You get to the naturals faster that way. We have Crossy with the larval trick to move him to the left side of the hatchery. Favorite saying is probe out, not going to be one base play. Let's see where he makes the pylon. Nice, and it's going back into the main. Now this could be for Forge, a delayed Forge, or just going for Gateway. And we have Crossy going for a 9 pool. Okay. This is going to be 9 pull from Crossy. I've seen him do this a lot, and not to go for 9 pull speed, but just to mix things up. Protoss always likes going Nexus before Cannon, blindly sometimes even, and to throw them off with that 9 pull, slightly faster lings. We have the gas being made, but I can guarantee this is going to be for a gas trick. There it is. Get that extra drone now. Zerg will have 9 on minerals mining, and we'll get a drone scout on the map, and with this Overlord and drone scout will confirm where Protoss is before the lings are have to make a decision on which base to go to. And looks like Favorite's going for an 11 Nexus. Alright, so this is another play with the 9 pool. 11 Nexus can work effectively against Overpool. In fact, unless Zerg does something like a committed drone pull, which doesn't get scouted, 11 Nexus is just fine against the 9 pool. Here we have the first lings in production. Now Favorite looked for that Overlord, didn't see it, and now he's gonna hold up head to bottom left, and he will see 6 things. But what can he do against 6 things when he's gone for an 11 Nexus? He will have a cannon out. He needs to send that probe instantly. Looks like Crossy's trying to body block it, trying to buy a couple seconds to delay that cannon. Looks like the cannon is gonna be started instantly once that forge is finished, but the lings are already on the way, and this is basically gonna come down to how effective he can be with his probes, because he's not gonna have enough time for his cannon to get up. Looks like he wants to get that gateway before the second cannon. Here comes the probe pull, but he needs to pull all of his probes, maybe leave a couple to mine, but really needs to defend this choke as effectively as possible. And looks like we have Crossy going immediately for that pylon, and I like this decision. The probes can effectively get a surround on these lings, especially with this wall in place, and cannon is complete, but you can see the pylon is going down, and the pylon goes down, and now we have nothing to power this cannon, and I think this is just going to be a GG. Nice play by Crossy with the 9 pool. Again, this build isn't all in. It's just to show Protoss something different from the overpool, and with that, Canada wins 4-2. And I should say, Sweden, at least up until this point, was the strongest team in Nation Wars, had the most points. Now, that wraps up Week 7 Division A. We'll have the full results on Team Liquid and Liquipedia and in the Discord. And we're going to have a Division B cast to cover Week 7 sometime during the week. It could be Monday or Tuesday. Thanks everyone for watching. I know everyone just wants to head and go watch BSL, but thanks for tuning in. Thanks for continually providing support, and see you next time. That'll be all. Have a good afternoon. Goodbye.
Si te gustó este video, no olvides darle like. Y si aún eres nuevo y aún no te suscribes, te invitamos a hacerlo y a darle clic a la campanita. Recuerda que todos los días viernes estaremos subiendo nuevas guías y nuevo material, todo en relación con StarCraft remasterizado. Hasta la próxima, amigos.